Hopefully everyone has seen the newest Chainsaw Man chapter and promptly have thrown up because of it. But I'm gonna be speaking without a script this time just to get my mind and thoughts across. This goddamn chapter was the most questionable thing I have seen in a long ass time. Most reactions I've seen to this chapter is like people actively calling Tatsuki Fujimoto a goddamn psycho, which he is. He tried to fly one time. He's done some weird ass shit. Or an amazing author who is so consistent, which, you know, fair enough, he is. I like Chainsaw Man, so I'd like to think he's a great author. But this move was questionable at the very beginning. It was questionable, right? Most people are expecting Yoru just to pop in and maybe just actually cut off his cock, or maybe even better, Asa, regains control and they have a true heart to heart. Because I'm gonna be honest, I want to see more Asa Denji stuff. I love it, but like, serious, this took an awful turn where Asa didn't take back control, but instead Yoru maintained it and somehow managed to sexually assault two teenagers with only two bodies. And I'm just like, how? Why? Right? They started making out, and then for some reason Yoru remembered that they started making out, which I didn't know Yoru cared about that moment at all until now, apparently. But when they started, she had her hand in his pants, beating him off, and then after a while, we have a great recreation of the goddamn Shinji hospital scene with that one panel, and that has been seared into my mind in the worst ways possible. Just like, oh my god. And what I feel the common consensus with this chapter is that the scene where she was beating him off was just plain out unnecessary, right? We had a moment before this where he was having some amount of character growth. He was like having a moment of realization that all of his actions before this and in part one was always dictated because he kept thinking with his dick. But now, like, for some reason, the author decided to continue that and never let him change in a way, right? He's still stuck in the same spot of people manipulating him and or older women, touching him in places they shouldn't be touching. And so it creates like this feeling of like, no progress, where like Denji's always going to be in the same spot no matter what, that people are still going to try and take things away from him and manipulate him. And like, we still have other things that we should be doing. Like Nayuta is still missing and we need to find them, and they're definitely not dead because without a body there is no death in anime, right? And then we have the other option of now Asa, where what is Asa thinking? All right, we didn't see her reaction. Usually we have Yoru and Asa in the same room because they share the same body, so we see some like ghost version of Asa. What is she doing now? How is this going to progress the story in any way? Because Asa now is in the position where she technically did also sexually assault Denji, not by her choice, but that was her body. It looks like her, and that's what Denji thinks, at least. So what then? But like, also in some sort of messed up way, it achieves Denji's, and in a funny way, Yoru's goal in the end. Like, Denji's goal for at least the longest part of part two was just have sex with women, be popular with women, and then you're in a situation where a girl that you like is beating you off. That's, I guess in some weird tangly way it achieves his goal. And in Yoru's case, her goal was to beat Chainsaw Man, and frankly, that's what she did. Very gross and different sense that they wanted to, she did it. And now that Yoru seems to have some amount of attraction towards Denji, maybe that changes her goal. But like, it's been established that the Black Chainsaw Man is different from the Denji Chainsaw Man, so maybe this just wants to further her goal, because Asa's goal is to save Denji from Yoru by helping Yoru beat the Black Chainsaw Man. And it's just so complicated. It's lost the plot. It's been very entertaining. Don't get me wrong. I love Chainsaw Man Part 2. It's just been so confusing lately. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, where do we go from here? We have reached a level of degeneracy that I haven't thought Chainsaw Man was going to reach in a while, honestly. It's been a while since it's been like that. The last time I recall it being this kind of gross, I guess, was back when either Himeno or Makima did their thing. And that was like a while ago. So I guess I just wasn't expecting it to reach this level again. It may honestly be worse this time because we actively see those bodily fluids. Last time it was just like Himeno, rubbing up on Denji. They didn't really have intercourse. And with Makima, she just let him touch her boobs. But this time it's real sexual, real intimate in a very bad way. So I think what's going to happen after this chapter is just Yoru and Denji's relationship. It's just going to get messed up. I don't think Asa is just like really into this. I doubt they are. They're like a teenage person, a teenage girl. I 100% expect Asa just to like, in a way, despise Denji after this. Maybe they won't. I don't know. Chainsaw Man's a weird series, but I wouldn't be surprised if Asa were to avoid Chainsaw Man or Denji for the next like couple of chapters while they get everything sorted out. And this also brings up the topic of what the hell is Nayuta gonna do when she eventually finds out? Because 100% she's going to find out. She already doesn't like Asa all that much. Is she just gonna kill her outright or do something more heinous? Because like Nayuta really doesn't want Denji around Asa at any point. That's why when she turned Asa into a dog, she was like, all right, Denji, you have to stand her up on this date in order for me to not make her a dog for the rest of her existence. And like after this, I think this might be the breaking point for Nayuta. She was already kind of evil a little bit. I think she's gonna go up and to be a straight up Makima after this one. Just like genuinely want to just wipe out a lot of things, mostly Asa. And this chapter is coming at the worst time for manga readers, because like a bit before this, you have Yuta Gojo becoming a thing. Not like Yuta X Gojo, no, Yuta Gojo, like same person type shit. And it's just like, this is the most depraved it's been in a while, at least from my experience, right? I was not expecting to feel this level of like disgust about the two biggest mangas that I personally love, and it's just so gross in a way, especially the Denji one. It's just like, I didn't need to see a hand covered in some white cream, right? I didn't need to see that or imagine that. It's just disgusting. But I guess that really doesn't matter as long as it's important to the plot or moves the plot forward in a way. But I don't think it does all that much. I think it just hinders whatever progress Denji was making, because he was making progress. He realized in itself that what he's doing and why he does these things is bad. And this just had to come in and block his progress. And I get that you don't want to end the storyline or something like that. He is technically the main character, but you still have to give him some amount of progress. Character development doesn't always have to come from suffering, and that's what he's been doing this entire time, is just suffering. And this scene just pivots to the point where it's only suffering. He's just suffering. And Asa too, she's also just suffering, because I know she was standing there just godsmacked, just utter disgust that her body is being used in this way. Also, for those who are saying Denji is lucky, the fuck are you talking about? Did you not see the previous chapter? Homeboy was crying and screaming about how he was in these situations and how they suck and how he's guided because of his lust. This is like the opposite of what he wants to be, and this is the worst case scenario of what could have happened 10 minutes later. But that's just my personal thoughts on this chapter. I really hope that it gets better for our boy Denji, right? I'm wishing that man becomes a quadrillionaire by the end of, I don't know, this series. It'd be really funny and really good. But that's just my personal opinions. Do I think this chapter ruins Chainsaw Man? No, worse have happened, and Tatsuki Fujimoto has written way, way more degenerate stuff. I don't think it's gonna kill Chainsaw Man. I see a lot of people dropping the series because of it, and like, fair enough, you do you, but like, it ain't that bad. It could be worse. Well, if you like the video, like this, press the button and subscribe. I really need to get a better outro.